What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are taking the GoPro Hero 7, which you are watching right now, and we're gonna run up to the car, go for a little point of view drive. So I wanted to film this entire video on this GoPro Hero 7 Black because I've never used it for really any audio stuff or driving experience content, and I wanted to kind of see how it performs. So this video will be shot in 1080 at 30 frames per second on the GoPro, and you guys gotta tell me what you think about it. I'm excited to use it. I have a headband I'm about to throw on, and we're gonna run up to the car and go for a little drive. 60 degrees, January 4th. I'll take it. So this GoPro has hyper smooth, which is really smooth footage, and it also has wind blocking for the microphone. So it should sound a little bit better and it should be a little bit smoother. Just washed this thing today. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Really feeling the black wheels. Looks amazing with the black setup. Let's go ahead and hop in the car. I'm gonna throw on this headband, put you guys on top, and let's go for a drive. All right, yo. This thing feels ridiculous and looks ridiculous. Throw this thing in M mode, put the power on, and let's go. Let's go for a little cruise. So right now I'm shooting in linear mode. With the GoPro, you can do wide, you can do super wide or super view, and then you can do linear. And I think the wide looks kind of weird, like it's just a little too fishbowl, in my opinion. But the linear, I think the linear looks the best. Lady staring at me. What does that idiot have on his head? That's right, woman. We're out here. So what I'm really curious is if the audio in this GoPro is good enough for A, just like hearing me, and B, hearing the car. So that'll be like the big thing here that I want to get your guys' feedback on. Do you like the audio in this? If you guys aren't feeling the audio out of the GoPro, then the way to do it is probably gonna be using my microphone from my Canon, my external microphone. And then I'll just have to sync it up to this GoPro. So I haven't adjusted anything on the suspension yet. I'm gonna do that this weekend. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna bring down the car like another, like quarter inch maybe. And then I'm going to stiffen up some of the dampening. Because right now I just have the settings straight set to 0. So like everything's zeroed out. When it comes to like the dampening and the camber, and so like it's just stock, like stock-ish settings for ISC coils, but I would like to have it a little bit stiff, more stiff, because I feel like it's a little bit floaty, and I just prefer the ride to be a little more rigid. Some people like it a little more like float, but I prefer it to be a little more rigid. I just feel like you feel the car so much better when you have that setup. So I'll definitely do it before and after. And then I'm also gonna do a review on this GoPro Hero Black, like a specific video talking about how I use it and why I like it. So I've only used the camera once so far, and it was in the feature film that you guys saw on Wednesday. And basically the way that I used it was in 2.7K and at 60 frames per second. And I used it to do some of my cinematic stuff. So like really slow motion, low light cinematics, and I tested it out. I tested out the GoPro in different lighting scenarios. So like outside during the day when it's sunny, and then in a parking garage when it was super dark. And I just kind of wanted to get like an idea of how the GoPro performed in those different scenarios. And it actually did a really good job. The reason I really like this GoPro though is that it shoots in like 4K, and you can do all of these different frames per second, FPFs, to get it super high and slow it down super low, so it's nice and smooth, and you get this really nice smooth cinematic. I also used it for all of the rollers on Matt's M2, and it's a phenomenal, I mean, to have this thing in the bag and be able to use it whenever you want to is just a great tool to have for someone like me. I'm really, really happy with it so far. There are like a few little things, like quirky things with it that I'll talk about as well, but so far I'm enjoying it. Totally worth it. I think I paid $320 for it, and it came with 2 batteries and a SD card and some of like the basic mounts, like the adhesive mounts, like helmet and stuff. So I bought the head mount separately. I've had it for a while, and it's basically just this stupid strap that goes on your head and makes you look like a bozo, which is really funny because people look at you like you're just psycho. 61 degrees here in Charlotte today. Man, we'll take it, won't we? I love it. I love it. So we got the big brake kit coming. That's gonna be so dope. So dope. I think I'm gonna go with the red for the calipers. You know, you can get different colors, and it was like yellow or red, but the thing is I also have bronze wheels, and yellow looks booty with bronze. So if I ever throw the bronze back on, I think yellow just looks silly with that. So my default was maybe I should just do red. Kind of wanted to do black, but black just doesn't pop enough. It's a little more like low key. The other option is silver. So they make a silver StopTech rotor that has like red on it, red and black for the StopTech logo, but the whole thing is silver. Kind of want to do that, so I don't know. You guys comment down below. Should I do the BBK with the silver or the red? I'm ready to order them. I just can't decide on the color. I can't pick the color. So you guys let me know and I'll make the decision. Maybe I should make a poll or something. Some of these roads back here have some loose gravel, so not the most smooth. I do have like a random rattle in this car, and I gotta do some R&D and figure out where it's coming from. I think it's somewhere in the seatbelt over here, but there is some kind of little rattle that's happening, and it annoys the crap out of me. I gotta figure out where that is. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I also am gonna do a video on refurbishing this, I don't know if you guys can see it, hopefully it's pointed the right direction. This little handle right here. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because you have to take out the whole like door panel, and it's kind of a process. So I am gonna refurbish this whole thing though. Either refurbish it or just buy a new one, like a replacement one. The problem is, like, even if you buy a replacement one, eventually it's going to chip because whatever BMW used just fails. Like all of the stock steering wheels, all of them pretty much have the chipping, and I ended up, this is a new one from AZA Auto Wheel that's actually wrapped in leather, but I ended up actually repainting mine when I had the stock wheel. What I need to do is I need to download the GoPro app so I can see the footage and see if I'm actually capturing what I want in real time. The problem, I don't have the app on the phone yet, so the problem is I'm kind of like flying blind here and just hoping that it looks good. But either way, you guys tell me if you like the angle. Tell me if there's anything that you want to just see me improve in this, like in the GoPro world of filming with like point of view, or any kind of other footage or content with it. What I am planning on doing is, as soon as it gets a nice Mustang, dude. Oh yeah, it's just clean. As soon as it gets a little bit nicer out, like once we get past this like cold stretch, I'm gonna head to the mountains. And I think like the Blue Ridge Mountains with this camera and this car is going to be sick. So, and that by then I'll have the BBK on, the big brake kit, and the tire setup I want, and we will be looking good. So you guys get ready for that. That's gonna be so fun. And I'll definitely do, I think what I'm gonna do is try and line up a feature film while I'm in the mountains so I can get like an epic feature film on a really cool car in a really cool location, because all the feature films that I do are really around here. And that's fine, that's all fine, but the scenery is obviously all the same. So it would be really nice to be able to do a feature film out in the mountains, just get some sick drone footage and driving footage. Man, it's starting to get busy. Charlotte is becoming so popular to live, and there's just people moving here left and right. God, this thing sounds good. So I mean, from what I hear inside the car, you guys are probably hearing more intake than exhaust, because this exhaust does a really good job of not droning in the interior. Well, I should say that the interior does a really good job of not hearing any drone. But I also ordered a mid-pipe. So I ordered a mid-pipe, which is headers back. So the only resonation, I believe, is going to be the muffler. We're getting rid of the res and the cats. So this thing is going to rip. It's going to rip. And Valvetronic are the people who are making the mid-pipe as well. So I am super, super excited for that. Like, this car, I love the fact that I have the valve, but like right now it's quieter than stock if I throw it, if I close the valve. It literally is quieter than stock. It sounds really good when it's open, but now that I have the valve, I'm like, dude, who cares? Like, let's just open the whole thing up, and if I want it to be quiet again, I can just close the valve. And it really makes a dramatic difference when you have a valved exhaust. Like, it's a totally different experience because you can take a super loud exhaust and make it super quiet. So I'm definitely doing the mid-pipe. I think it's gonna sound absolutely bonkers. Like, I want this car to rip. And I've gotten really serious about looking for a new car. You know, it's 2020 now, and I wanna make some big moves in 2020. My whole mindset before was like, I wanted to kind of go crazy and get something really, really nuts. But I just don't see the point in me spending $100,000 on a car right now, and then not having, you know, money or finances to still modify this one and modify the new one. I'd rather buy something that's a little more in my budget and be able to still modify both cars and have fun. I think for content that makes the most sense. So that's kind of where I'm, you know, my mind has changed so many times with a new car because I just want to make sure I'm getting something for the right reasons and that I'm getting a car that I actually enjoy and I love to drive. And yeah, so you know how it is, man. When it comes to YouTube, like, people make decisions for different reasons. Some people do it based on their audience, some people do it based on content, and other people just buy the car that they really want to buy. And I'm trying to find I want to make you guys happy. Like, I want to keep you guys happy, but at the same time, I also want to buy a car for me that I really want to buy. So I'm trying to find a good middle ground there. So bear with me. I know it's taken a little bit of time for me to find this new car, but at the same time, I'm being really picky about the car that I want. I don't want to make any bad decisions. I've made poor decisions in the past buying cars and just hesitating, just kind of impulsively buying, and I don't want to end up in that situation again. This thing will be so much sicker with a supercharger. Like, it just begs for one. Ribbity rip. But yeah, it feels really good. The car feels super planted. I do wanna do some like link enhancements, I guess you could say, like bushing and like control arm and link enhancements underneath the car. I feel like it could get even better. Like, it feels good, but there's still a little bit of body roll, and I want this thing to just be, man, after riding in Matt's M2 Ghost, that feature film I did the other day, after riding in that car, that thing, oh my God, it is a go-kart. Like, it is absolutely planted on the ground, and I'm super, super obsessed with his suspension setup. The fact that he has the airbag up front that allows him to just lift the front up, like, that is so sick. So I think I'm gonna do that to this car. I'm gonna reach out to the company and see if we can do something. We can work together if I can get, because I know that they do like a lot of custom stuff. So hopefully they'll work with me and we can get a suspension similar to that on this car. I just think that that's such a sick setup for any car. Because I would love to be just on the ground, but at the same time, like, you know, I daily drive this car and there's gotta be some logic to it. Fun fact, Matt's other car is a smart car that is just like completely decked out, and low-key I want to make a feature film on it because I think it would be funny and cool. It's actually a really cool car. I almost bought a smart car a while ago for daily, but decided not to. The clamping in M mode is like unbelievable. Like, it's so harsh. It's amazing. I can't imagine what it's like when you get the GTS flash. Also, tune is on deck. I gotta do the tune. There's so many things that I have to get done on this car. Gotta get the big brakes done. We gotta get the tune done. We gotta get the mid pipe done. We gotta, eventually, I would love to get a supercharger. I think the Harop, I think it's called the Harop. The Harop supercharger is the one that I would go for, which is like the super whiny one. I think it just sounds so good. And it's supposed to be a great supercharger. Like, it really makes up for that torque that you lack in these cars, which is why everyone supercharges these cars. Yeah, there's a lot of bounce in this car. Like, it feels good, but it's just wavy, man. It's just wavy. So like, I need to definitely stiffen up the dampening and bring her down a little bit, and then also see what we can do as far as links and control arms and sway bars and strut bars and stuff like that. I know Dynan makes like the little strut bar pieces that go into the engine bay, and they're like carbon fiber, but I don't really know how much that actually helps. I just feel like that's not, I don't know. I just feel like that's not enough to do anything over the stock ones, which are already aluminum. I think they're metal or some kind of metal, steel, aluminum, something like that. But maybe it's just weight reduction stuff and pretty because it's carbon fiber. I definitely don't, like, in the engine bay, I really don't care a whole lot about it looking pretty. Like, for this, the F30, it was like, okay, it's never gonna be that fast. So my mentality was like, let's just make it look as good as possible in the engine bay, and that's why I had all the carbon fiber and stuff. This car, I don't really care about that much. Like, I would rather do things that are honestly, like, putting down performance and helping this car, like the pulley kit and everything. Like, I wanna do the underdrive pulley kit in this car too. I feel like that just makes more sense in an M3. It looks great on the outside, so it's not like, I don't really feel the need to have like the Venturi plenum. Like, that carbon fiber plenum intake is like super sexy, but I'd be damned if I'm spending $3,000 on an intake. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, there's no way you miss me with that. There's no way I'm putting in that much money on an intake that really like gives you no performance gain, like very minimal. Yeah, I just don't see the benefit in that. I would rather take that $3,000 and apply it to, you know, supercharger, like, or I don't know, whatever, something like that. Or my big brake kit. You know, big brake kit's like $3,000 somewhere in there. So, all right, so we're heading back to the house, you guys. Tell me what you think about this GoPro footage, bro. Tell me what you think about this head cam GoPro. Do you like the angle? I'm sorry if it's not like perfect as far as angle. I gotta download the app and get it straightened out. Also, tell me what you guys think about the linear mode. Would you rather see it in like super wide mode, or do you like the linear mode? Comment down below on all that stuff. And you guys, anything you comment on, I'm going to be taking that into consideration and applying it to the future videos. So it really does help me when you guys comment on and you make suggestions on things in the videos, like, hey, you should try this, or hey, it would be better if you filmed it like this. I listen to you guys and I read all the comments, so make sure you're commenting and just dropping down your bits of information, and I will definitely take it into consideration. Also, let me know if there's any other kind of content you guys want to see with the GoPro, like the head camera. Is there any kind of stuff that you want to see me do with this? I think the GoPro will be really nice when I'm doing installs and stuff, because I can literally just wear it on my head and work on the car, and then you'll be able to see everything I'm doing. Whereas, like, you know, right now I have to set up a tripod in 30 different spots and like get the angle, do all that. And I think I will still do a lot of that just to get good B-roll and like good footage, but it certainly is nice when you're working on cars in tight spaces and to just have the GoPro on your head so the audience can see exactly what you're doing. I think it just makes sense. So I think that this GoPro is going to be a really, really good tool for what we're doing here. And in the future videos, I'm definitely going to do a review. I want to use this a bit more and kind of, you know, live with it for a little bit and experience it. And then I'll give you guys my honest review on it and tell you what I think about it. I can pretty much tell you already that I love it. Just from the one time that I've used it with Matt, it's just, anytime that I use something like a certain kind of camera or like my drone, for example, and if it's functional and it works, there's so many different ways that you can apply it. Like the drone, for example, it's obviously a drone, but it shoots really high resolution, 2.7K, and you can get different frames per second, so 60 frames per second, and I can slow it down and get like buttery smooth footage. So I just take it and I use it handheld, and I do that all the time. A lot of my B-roll and a lot of my cinematic stuff is shot with that Mavic Mini, and it's shot in 60 frames per second handheld. So anything that you see like slow-mo and I'm doing like a car or something, for example, all of Matt's cinematic footage on the M2, I did that handheld with the drone. So there's just so many different ways. If you get creative with it, there's so many different ways to use that. Is it coming from there? Man, I'm trying to figure out where that rattle is coming from. I think it's in the pillar. I don't know. I gotta figure that out because that's gonna drive me insane. Prop. The neighbors hate me.
What is this idiot doing now with his cars?
All right, so hopefully you guys liked that footage. Let me know what you thought about it, anything I can improve on with the GoPro, and I will definitely implement it into my future videos. I definitely want to do more point of view videos, so this thing is going to become something that we're going to use regularly. Anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment down below, like this video, hit that bell notification. Just like that, this video's over. We're out.